Okay, gang, I'm starting my YouTube first because that's how I stream over to my computer and then over to Reddit. So what we have here again is a tardigrade. I got some other creatures on here also. The water's a little deeper than yesterday and my table's a little shakier, but we'll try to make it a good experience here. Really don't like this table I'm on. It gets a little shaky. And there are a couple of I have a few tardigrades on here. Wow, that's 2 eggs right there. That's good to see. So this is actually tardigrade eggs in the skin, the shedded skin of a tardigrade. So this means my sample is doing pretty good if they're reproducing. Now you notice above that, above to the right, up there, that is a amoeba, and an amoeba would eat those eggs, but when the amoeba comes up against this dead cuticle skin, I guess you'd call it, of the tardigrade, it doesn't think it's nutrition, so it just goes away. I was just thinking of something. So this is tardigrade eggs here, and I did start streaming on Reddit also. So there's 2 eggs in there, and there's a tardigrade right there. He's moving kind of slow. I'm not sure if he's old or just waking up. He is a little slow. There's one in some algae who's having a good time. There's one right here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, he's doing pretty good. So this one's doing pretty good. You can see the water's kind of deep because it shakes a little bit. Let me get my glasses so I can see better. So that is a tardigrade. He's looking right at the camera. You can see his face. And these tardigrades do look a little slow, so I'm going to add some fresh distilled water to them. See if I can put it in my sample to make sure they're not, make sure they're getting enough oxygen. Usually they moving real fast. I'm drinking my coffee. You can see these have a lot of color to them for some reason. So yeah, when it's like this, you can see the eye spot a little better. Not a little bit, a lot better. So there you go. That is a tardigrade, and he's doing all right. He's hanging on to some, looks like maybe some fungus he likes to be around. And every once in a while you can see his eyeball. See his two eyes? Well, not balls, but eye spots. And I got a stand-up desk. I might lower it so I can sit down. So this is on YouTube, streaming right now, and on Reddit. So, and I have a pretty good internet connection, so it's working pretty good. Reddit, I got 20 viewers. On YouTube, even though I have 4,000 subscribers, I only got 2 viewers, so 3 now. Thanks for viewing. So you can see the tardigrade's eyes, and this is moving pretty slow, so it's usually a little better when they move slower, but I kind of don't like to see them moving slow. I'm gonna have to go adjust my water, my little tank that they're in, make sure they're getting enough oxygen and nutrients. It's his little mouth part in there that he uses to suck juice out. It looks like a little arrow. It's actually a hard part that actually stick in moss and fungus and algae and suck the juice out of it. Yeah, big time Becks. These are pretty cool creatures. And I'm on a shakier desk now, but let's get him about right there. Because every time I touch the microscope, it'll jiggle a little bit, but that's fine. Yeah, these I've had for weeks and weeks. So these seem to be doing pretty good. This one even starting to move a little faster. You gotta kind of keep the water fresh. You can't just pour in, half a gallon of spring water, because all the pH changes. So every couple of days you just get a big eyedropper full, maybe a few milliliters. 5 milliliters, 10 milliliters, add it to the 100 milliliters, just to freshen up the water, bring some oxygen in. There's actually some eggs on here. That we'll show you in a few minutes. So when you see eggs being laid or being left behind, it means you're at least you got a good culture going, because usually they wouldn't reproduce if they're dying or have to dry out. So once you see some eggs, that's good. And I'm trying to stay close by to this. See, this one's not moving too much. And here are the eggs right here. There's 2 eggs in here. So you can see how they lay their eggs. They shed their skin. There's 2 eggs in there and they shed their skin. And the eggs stay in their skin because the skin, or cuticle, what it's called, is dried out and it's almost like not nutritious. So when you have an amoeba or something come by and it brushes up against that, it doesn't eat it because it doesn't think it's nutritious. So it doesn't know the eggs are in there, so it just leaves them alone. And if you really look good at these, sometimes you could see motion in the eggs. Let's see if we can, yeah, you can see it. If you look really good, you can see the eggs kind of churning a little bit. If I time lapse this, you can really see it. But you really gotta watch to see it. I can see it. It's probably a little clearer for me than over Reddit or YouTube, but you can see it. So that's what that's what tardigrade eggs look like. So you got tardigrade eggs right there, and tardigrades over here. That tardigrade's not moving around too much. He might be going into a hibernative state. Here's our friend right here. We've been looking at, and you can see this one, his eye spots. He's looking right at the camera, look. Yeah, he's looking right up at us. Hello. Yeah, so I'm tripping again, says they could see it. Yeah, you could see it. I got a video on YouTube of time lapse of it. If after I finish streaming this, I'll time lapse those eggs for about 5 minutes and you can really see it in a time lapse. I never seen a tardigrade. Never thought I would. This is amazing. Hey, thanks. I'm tripping. You're probably really tripping now, huh? Yeah, subscribe and I don't know how Reddit is. I got tens of thousands of followers, but when I stream, you know, they don't they Reddit doesn't notify. So it's really bizarre how Reddit works. And these tardigrades are a little slower than usual, so I just added some distilled water and stirred my water around. Put some more algae in it, trying to get it maybe oxygenated to make sure these guys don't dry up on me and go into hibernation. Deep thought, this is a tardigrade, water bear, moss piglet, and it's on a slide at about 300 times magnification. Some people have the brains of a tardigrade, I guess, but not the sense. Every once in a while, he'll look right at the camera. Like right now, he's looking right. He'll look right up at the lens. Like right now, he's looking right. No, he's looking, now that's the top of his head. See his little eyes. Yeah, they're on glass right now. So what are they trying to do? They just walk around. They kind of swim around, walk around. Usually when they're in their natural environment with a lot of algae and stuff, it's easy for them to move around. But since he's on a glass slide, he's just, you know, sliding, sort of like if you were walking on ice. And he is a little slow. You know, like I said, usually they're a little faster than this. And I got to keep focusing because my water is a little deeper than I want it to be. And when I say deeper, I'm only talking about fractions of millimeters. And once I put them back in that regular jar, that little dish I have, there's going to be more food for them and stuff to do. So they'll be all right. When you get them on a slide like this, they look like they struggling. And yeah, see, he just broke free of his fungus right there. He might try to go back to his fungus. Hey, lady, it's been a while. Yeah, I've been streaming not a lot, but a couple of times a week, and it's just that did you get a notification, lady? Did anybody get a notification when I started streaming, or did you just happen by? Because I don't think I don't think Reddit sends out notifications. Uh, I mean, they're not social like an ant. No, they're not like an ants, but they hang around each other. He looks nearly transparent. Does he? Yeah, they are pretty transparent in nature. When you're looking at it like this, he's coming up. The light's coming up from the bottom up, so you get a lot of contrast. But in nature, really, they're gonna look more like this. And it helps to be transparent. Oh yeah, thanks. So you didn't get a notification on Reddit. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how Reddit works. Oh look, it looks like I'm getting some visitors here. Thanks. So here come the questions. Yeah. So if it's a water bear, tardigrade, and it is. It is yeah, BioNTech. No, it's not a vaccine. Yes, they can survive in outer space. I'm not going to be able to answer all the questions because they're flying by now, but that's what this is, tardigrade. Is it front? Yeah, his front is on the top left. Yeah, they can survive a lot of stuff, especially when they dry it out. Okay. Yeah, what poke is that? Everybody says Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So you can see his eyes. Yep. Bilal, there you go. Got some comments on YouTube now. Thanks a lot. YouTube's even though the notifications go out on YouTube, I don't get too many visitors on YouTube. I saw one on the microscope and saw it in a little barrel thing. Was it dried out? When they dry out, yeah, there you go, dried up. It's called a tun, a TUN, and yeah, you could see them. I think I had one on here, and usually you don't like to see that when you're trying to look at them because that means they trying to dry up to survive. So it might mean something's wrong with your water or something. So you kind of, if you start seeing a lot of them dried out or in the ton phase, it could it could mean that your water's not great and they're going into a hibernation so they can survive. So I'm trying to see. Uh-oh, where am I? Oh, there's my chat. Sorry about that. I lost my chat for a minute. Yeah, you could find them. Go to my YouTube channel, and I got a video on there of how to find them. I wish I could get my R-Pan chat, my my chat a little wider so I can see some of these questions. It's real frustrating. Oh, there you go. Where's this water sample from? This is moss. Uh-oh, where did it go? There you go. I got him out of the side of an oak tree on some moss or lichen, but there's other stuff in here since I got the water kind of contaminated, so it's a little pond water and oak tree bark. So that's where this came from, oak tree bark. Yeah, a lot of questions. What's his name? You don't have a name yet. You can name him. Yeah, he crawled away for a second while I was fooling with my computer. If you want, here's, since the first people to come, there's another one. And right here, yeah, Dak. All right, so let me, before I answer the YouTube question, this is two tardigrade eggs right here. And notice that when they put their eggs aside, they uh, they shed their skin. Okay, they shed their skin, and when they shed their skin, their eggs are left behind like this. And the reason they do that is because if an amoeba or a worm or something comes up and they taste that little cuticle skin right there, they don't think it's nutritious and they just don't bother with it and they move on, not knowing there's eggs inside of it. So it's pretty ingenious here. So, and the reason why you can read about it, but when they dry out, they're hard to kill because it just leaves behind almost like dust and just with instructions on how to put itself back together. So as you know, if something's just dust, it's hard to kill with radiation or squishing it or heat. It just stays. There's no breakdown or something. And then when you, since the instructions are in that DNA some kind of way, when you add water back, it just recomposes them and they come back to life. Yeah, this is a tardigrade. He was flipped to the side, then he flipped upright, went for a proper walk. Yeah, I've seen them sleep before. Somebody said, do they sleep? I've seen them go where they not in a, yeah, ton phase. So that's an egg right there. I'll stay on that for a second. Yeah, it's gigantic eggs in a corpse. It's not a corpse. They shed their skin. So there's one running around the slide that shed that skin and put its eggs inside of them. And so that's why it protects the eggs. So, so there you go. So that's the eggs. And here's a couple of tardigrades right here. You can see I got a couple of them on this slide, so it's a pretty good slide. Yeah, it's not, it wasn't dead, it was the skin of one. So what you saw a few minutes ago, it was the skin, they shed their skin and the eggs stay in the skin. Yeah, they reproduce. Some species sexually reproduce and some can fertilize their own eggs. Yeah, skin blanket. Yeah, I mean, you could believe that if these originated, these been on there 600 million years, okay? That's 400 million years before dinosaurs. So you know in 600 million years, they've had meteorites that hit the Earth hard enough to blast these into space. So these are on their way to other places. Put it in my mouth. These guys. Once read a comment indicating contrary probabilities, these guys very easy to kill. Yeah, you, these are, I could kill this one right now, okay? If I put, this is about 4 drops of water that this is in. If I put 6 drops of rubbing alcohol on here, it's gonna kill it. I mean, it's gonna kill it, it'll die. Hey, happy Mardi Gras. They're not indestructible when they're like this. They survive by going into a dehydrated phase, and they can live, so if this water starts to dry up, and I let it dry up for 2 days, he's not gonna die, he's just gonna dehydrate, and then I can keep him in a dry box for 100 years, and then put some water on him, and he'll come back to life. Yeah, you can squish them, that's right. If you put a cover slip on them and the water dries out, before they can go into their dried out phase, they get crushed. Well, you ought to, who said that? Vasilisa said, I wish I was this small. Well, you are. In the grand scheme of things, you probably are this small. You could have some microscopes and wet mounts. Yeah. Yeah, these are in soil. No, he's not stuck between. I don't have a cover slide on these. I rarely put a cover slide on them unless I'm trying to get some really, really good detailed photos. And then a cover slide gives you a little more, less diffusion from the water. So yeah, they like living in moss. He's just walking, looking for another tardigrade, I guess. How do they travel across the galaxy? Well, meteors do hit planets, and when they hit at the right angle and the right speed, soil and rocks can be ejected and to escape velocity and go to other planets. Yeah, they microscopic in the sense that if you had 1,000 of them in a drop of water, you'd see the water, a lot of dots moving around in the drop of water. But if you just have 1 or 2 or 10 and 2 or 3 drops of water, and you didn't know they were there, and you wasn't really, you're not going to see them. But if you have good eyes and you know what to look for, you can see them with the naked eye. Tickle his tummy. What they eat, they suck the juice out of moss and lichen and algae and fungus. So they have a lot of food supply. Well, if they were, that's right, you don't, yeah, he's dog paddling. He's tartar paddling. How big is this? This one's probably about 1/4 of a millimeter. 1/4 of a millimeter. Imagine we get the soil sample and we find dried tardigrades. That would be amazing. Imagine we get, well, that if you get a soil sample from Mars or something, let's say, and you find a tardigrade in it, and the DNA matches our tardigrades here, in reality, you don't know if our tardigrades came from Mars 600 million years ago, or if ours were put on Mars. So that would be no proof. If you find a tardigrade in a meteorite sample and that DNA totally doesn't match Earth creatures, then yes, could have started on 2 different planets. What's the small thing in the background? There's a couple of things back there, mostly just algae floating around. I do have a couple of other things on here. So anybody want to see what is it? Shorty, it's a tardigrade, a microscopic animal made up of about 20,000 cells. Yeah, radish person, whenever I put music on, when I put some good music on, unless I'm playing it, then Reddit, YouTube usually blocks it, and Reddit won't replay my videos. So Yeah, he's on his back right now with his feet facing up. Well, somebody put it doesn't seem like it's the easiest way to get around. Well, you're looking at him on a glass slide, so he don't live on a glass slide in his natural habitat. So he can get around on his really good on his own. Not so much on glass. Yeah, they can die. Ghost KGB. No, KJB. Yeah, they can die. I can squish this one or I can kill him with fire right now. When they dry out, they're hard to put away. They'll last for decades. So let me see. Yeah, he does have a little face. And he has eyes. Okay, anybody want to see the tardigrade eggs? Let's take a little vote. I do have some tardigrade eggs on here if you want to see them. And I'll explain how that works. Yeah, it does have tiny legs. I can't put a hair next to it on this slide because it's just, I don't have a cover slide on it. I guess I could go put a grain of pepper on one part of the slide as long as it doesn't get in the water. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the eggs again. We can come back to him. Let me look at my YouTube. I'm just looking at my YouTube questions. Thanks to my YouTube people also. Its brain is in its head, and it's got a real small, tiny ganglia, not so much a brain like you and me. Yeah, it'd be cool if they were the size of dogs. Okay, this is 2 tardigrade eggs, and what happens is the mama tardigrade will have the eggs inside, and it'll shed the skin. It takes about an hour and a half. It'll shed the skin, and it leaves the eggs in the skin. Yeah, this is a tardigrade. 2 black dots are the head or the eyes. There you go. So right now we're looking at eggs. No, the eggs are smaller than a grain of salt. Let me go get something that I can kind of compare this to. It's going to be hard. Maybe I have a. If I misplace it, it'll dry up and wait till it gets in some water. Yeah, this is so this is an egg, and why it sheds its skin like that? It sheds its skin and leaves its eggs inside of it because when an amoeba comes by, or a worm or something, it'll kind of pass it by. You know, it'll say, "Well, I don't want to eat this dead skin," and it'll just pass it by, and there you go. Yeah, it's a water bear. Yeah, this is water bear eggs. So now this isn't dead. The water bear sheds its skin and leaves the eggs behind. So this water bear that laid these eggs or left these eggs behind is still alive. Yeah, yeah. So this is sort of like in Aliens, when it grew, it shed its skin. So a tardigrade does shed its skin to grow, but it also sheds its skin to leave its eggs. And so this tardigrade is alive somewhere, probably on this slide. It's one of those other ones. So, and if you look really good, you can see sometimes the eggs in there, you'll see motion. You'll see it, gyrating. And you can, but when I time lapse it, you can really see it. A 5-minute time lapse, and you think these eggs wanted to roll off. Yeah, I get stuck answering the same questions, but that's all right. And usually they're the same ones, but That's what I'm here for. Yeah, there's cells swimming close by to it. That's mostly probably algae, uh, single-celled algae. Some of them, like that, that is a protozoa right there. You know, it's too small for me to identify. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the tardigrade now. So you see, here's one right here that's really not moving much. And you could see, let's see, this magnification right here, somebody's asking on YouTube, right here it is 150, but I can pinch zoom in, and that's about 300. And that's about the best magnification to look at these, about 300. Yeah, incubation period about 40 days, 40, 45 days, and they'll hatch. And if you notice my on Reddit, you can see my donations page. If you can look up differential interference contrast microscope. I have a sample of what that microscope does that costs thousands of dollars, and I'm saving up for one. So if you want to donate, feel free. Yep, that's a water bear. It's a husk, not, that's right. It's not a dead water bear. So there you go. Hey, thanks for giving me that gold. Oh, yeah, a lot of people are dropping me some awards here. Thanks. Yeah, you can. This streams on. I try to stream it on YouTube at the same time. You'll see my YouTube info at the top. You can go to YouTube, and if you watch some of my videos on YouTube or go to my playlist and let it play, you'll help me get to 4,000 hours of streaming time, and I'll earn a couple of nickels every time every time somebody, well, not nickels, but a couple of pennies every time somebody streams my video. Do these guys live in your house? Do you have like a, yeah, I have like a little tiny aquarium with about, I guess, 100 milliliters of water, of distilled water. So there you go. So I've had these for a few weeks. So these are really doing good. This is a tardigrade. Yeah, this is a water bear, moss piglet. Yeah, it's doing the dog paddle. I'm gonna check my YouTube comments. Amazing what magnification. Those things behind him, I wish these, those are just mostly algae. Imagine we get a soil sample. There you go. I'm just reading I can't see my YouTube as they come up. They go pretty fast, so I try to look at it once in a while. How does it move? Yeah, they walk. They don't really swim because they'll sink to the bottom. But why you see him, he's not moving is because he's walking on glass. So he's walking on glass, and that's not his natural habitat. So he can't get around. So he's walking on glass. He's not suffering. Hey, thanks. Yeah, been to a war. There you go. If you go over to my YouTube and watch, if put it this way, I got 17,000 watchers right now. If 1,000 went over to YouTube and watched for a half an hour, okay, then that's 500 hours of viewing time. If 10,000 went over to YouTube and watched for an hour, that's 10,000 hours of viewing time. All I need is 4,000 hours to get monetized. So do that if you can. So, either way, do that if you can. That'd be appreciated. But Reddit, a lot of people hang out on Reddit. So. Like right now, I have 8 viewers on YouTube. If those 8 viewers stay for an hour, that's 8 hours, okay? if, that's how it works. Is, is his mouth located? I can only see eyes. Yeah, somebody want to know about his mouth, if you look in here, you see that little arrow thing inside of his face? Watch. That arrow thing, he pokes that out. He pokes that out and it goes out of his mouth and it jabs into algae and stuff, and it pokes a hole in it and he sucks the juice out. So you see in his mouth parts right there. I got to keep focusing it because he's going in and out of focus. But that is his mouth parts. Hey, thanks, Danny. Yeah, got a couple of people coming from Reddit. And some people tell me that on YouTube it's a lot clearer than on Reddit, but that's hard for me to tell because I can't see it myself while I'm streaming. Yeah, that true mouth looks like a pig nose almost. That's why they call them moss piglets. Hey, thanks, Shane. Yeah, here you go. Now I'm getting some YouTubers. There you go. So if, on YouTube, if you can, I have a playlist that says Microscope. So if you're ever doing the dishes or something and you want to let that playlist play while you're watching it, do that. That counts also. Yeah, look, a lot of people are coming now. All right, listen, if this keeps up, I'll be monetized by tomorrow. So, because right now on YouTube, I have 26 viewers. Okay. What's going to happen is, as that algorithm goes, this thing will start to take off on YouTube. And if I can get 1,000 viewers on YouTube for an hour, I'll be monetized. Because I think I'm at 1,500 right now, monetization. Well, I need about 2,500 more. We can kill off the planet. That's right. If you kill off the planet, these will probably survive. They already survived mass extinctions. They've been here 600 million years. You've had many mass extinctions in 600 million years. Spectra, popping over from Reddit. Thanks. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not a big marketing kind of guy. I guess I should have been telling people to go over to YouTube forever. I guess I'm an idiot. There you go. Yeah, he looks like he'd give great massages. I just did yeah, they are pretty cool. Somebody researched. So what's happening is people are coming over from Reddit to my YouTube. So if you got a YouTube stream, look at my link up there. And a couple of people posted my link. But if you look for Skid987 and go to my YouTube, they say it's a lot more clear. And for every minute you watch on YouTube, that goes to my monetization. And look, you don't make a fortune from being monetized, but right now YouTube puts ads on my stuff and I don't even get a penny. So they pretty strict with that. Yeah, and what's strange is on YouTube, the comments, so my Reddit people can see my YouTube comments too, so that's pretty good. Unless it's in back of my donations page. So that's fine though. Came here from Reddit, I spam a YouTube link. Yeah, I see you spammed it. Whenever people start posting to my YouTube and even if they put in my link, sometimes Reddit will ban you for 30 days, not 30 days, but for a few hours. They'll tell you not to do that, but tell them to contact me, and I'll tell them that you were authorized and see what we can do. So even I've spammed my own my own Reddit, and I've got with my YouTube address, and I got banned. And I say, wait a minute, man, this is my stream. Yeah, this guy's probably, I don't know, weeks old. He might be a month old. I've had this. There's no way for me to tell. He's probably less than a year old, that's for sure. Thanks. So let's see, here's another one right here. Hey, thanks. Yeah, so now I'm getting, yeah, so people from Reddit saying it's a lot clearer and better sound. So there you go. Here's one that might be starting to dry out. See how this one, people ask me if they sleep. See how he's balled up like that and he's real slow? So this one's starting to go into his ton phase, and he'll curl up like an accordion and become about 1/5 the size he is. So I don't like to see this too much because it means my water may not have the nutrients for him, but don't worry about him, he'll be all right. Yeah, so I just jumped off. Tardigrades are not in space. They are, nor are they from space. They can survive in outer space. That's right. But you don't know. We don't know if uh, if they're from space or not. We don't know where they came from. You know, their DNA is from Earth for sure because they match ours. You know, their DNA is very similar to ours, so we know they're here. Yeah, they do have some species have different genders. Yep, male and female. What do they eat? They eat this moss, and this is a pile of moss right here, and algae, and maybe some fungus, and they actually eat that stuff. And so you see, now that he got in where he likes to eat, oops, sorry about that. You can't see him as good, but they are happier. And you can see that amoeba. There's an amoeba tangled up in here. You see that black stuff? That's an amoeba. But I've never seen an amoeba eat one of these. I think the tardigrade would tear it up. Yeah, you want to keep some as pets? You can get them. Go look at my YouTube video of how I caught these. You can get them. That's for sure. Yeah, what eats them? Supposedly amoebas eat them. Amoeba and worms, especially worms. Yeah, those little black things that are head and eyes. Here's two of them in the same pile of moss right here. This looks like fungus, not moss. So they tend to like this fungus too. They'll stick their jaws into this and eat that. So if you jump over to my YouTube page, um, let me post it. Let me see. If you jump over to my YouTube, uh, they tell me it's a lot clearer and the sound's better, and I get credit for monetization. Do you add moss to the tank for them? Mostly algae. I'll add algae, but yeah, I'll go out and get some moss and put it in. You just got to watch when you get other moss that it doesn't have worms in it or hookworms because that can be a pain. Let me go get my link. And let's see. All right, where are we at? Come over to YouTube. We have cookies. Yeah, we might be from space. Why are they important? Well, they're important. They're just part of the food chain, just like anything else. We're the top of the food chain, so nothing eats us, but things eat them. So, in the grand scheme of things, uh, it's just they're part of the food chain. Can you get a, let's see, hang on one second. And I'm gonna cut the sound down here. Hang on. There you go. Okay, what's your favorite thing about them? My favorite thing about them is that if they dry out, like if I accidentally let my water dry out, they're not dead. I can come back 10 days later and put some more distilled water in there and they come back. So I'm gonna drop in my YouTube link to the video. So let me try to find one that's not in, that's not tied up right now because you can't really see them. You can't really see them when they in their moss. Okay, so see if I can find one. Now this one right here, you see this one right here? This one is he don't like what he's in. You see, he's starting to dry out. So this one's starting to go into a ton phase. See how he's curled up like that? All right, so either he didn't have a lot of nutrients, okay, so something is not wrong with my water. Something's wrong with my water. Yeah, they can survive in space as a ton phase. So this one right here, either he's depressed, he's not getting enough oxygen, he didn't get enough food, but this one's starting to go into a ton phase. It's not going to die. He's just saying, look, I'm gonna see how he's moving right there, or he might be coming out of his ton phase. So I don't know since I wasn't watching them, but when they're in their ton phase, their phase where they dry up, this is what they look like. They look like a little accordion. And then as time goes on, they'll either keep drying up or he come back to life. So it's hard for me to tell which way he's going. See his eyes right there? So if we stayed on here an hour, we'd be able to see if he's waking up or if he's going to sleep. So, yeah, these are water bears. Thank you. Never seen one with the naked eye. There you go. They only live about 2 years. Yeah, they only live about 2 years when they're alive like this, but they live for decades when they dried out. When they dried out, this one doesn't look. This one looks like it's coming back from a dried out stage. This one looks like he's reawakening. so so we can actually so really what you're seeing right here is one coming out of his dried up phase. This one's waking up. Okay, this one's waking up right here. So you could see he even stretched out since we've been looking at him. He was a little smaller a few minutes ago. They have photoreceptor cells for eyes. That's right. There you go. Yeah, somebody. That's right. So their eyes they've been the same for 600 million years. They do the job that they need to do. Yeah, see, this one looks like he's waking up from his hibernation. So that's pretty cool to see. Well, I have a biology degree and I'm doing this. So yeah, I'm a scientist. I don't get paid for it daily. I don't go to work. If you want to drop a donation, do that. And right now I got 72 people watching on YouTube. So if 72 people stay an hour, well, that's 72 hours. So if you want to go to my YouTube page, I just put my link back on Reddit. You can go to YouTube and after I get to 4,000 hours, I'll be monetized and at least I make a couple of nickels a day. What I do for a living, I do computer tech support. So I never did really work in biology. I never expected I would. It was just for me to go to college. I had to be really interested in something, or I'd get bored. Yeah, same old hippie chick. There you go. Yeah, I've been streaming a little more now. And if you want to know what this one is, this one is coming. This one is waking up from hibernation. No, I'm not currently at work. That's funny. If I was at work, I wouldn't be doing this because that phone never stops ringing. Hello, kitty cat. Kitty cat. My kitty cat's in here. You jealous, huh? You jealous? Yeah. Well, if I get monetized, on YouTube and I get thousands of viewers, you want to see the cat? Come here, nanny cat. Come see. You want to get on the camera? There you go. Okay, you're getting ready to see kitty cat, nanny cat. Hello, nanny cat. Who's that? Can you meow? Meow. Say hello, kitty cat. Look, everybody, look. Can you read that? Can you read that? There you go. That was nanny cat, old stray cat we found. And nanny cat jumps on my water table, on my table with my slides on it sometimes, and it knocks over stuff. So she gets jealous. I hear you. Uh-oh. Get. Oh, look, here's. There you go. So you can see this one's doing pretty good. It's coming out. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, YouTube is less than a delay. Somebody said it's about 5, 10 seconds faster, but the quality was about the same. Well, that's good to hear. So, I'd rather quality be good on both. So, yeah, I found these. There's a video on YouTube of how I found them. I scraped these off some bark on the side of an oak tree. Yeah, well, these were in a petri dish I have that holds about 200 milliliters of water. So these were in the petri dish for a couple of weeks. And every day I'll go get some and look at them just to make sure they're okay. Cats are trying to get in the room. Dancing water bear on South Park. Official name, yeah, they have a scientific name, which I don't know what it is. I guess I should, but their scientific name, there's so many different species of them, they would have different names. But the common name that people use are tardigrades. And if you never saw the tardigrade eggs, there's tardigrade eggs right here. And the mama tardigrade leaves them behind in her skin, so it protects them. Yes, cats always want to be where the action is. Yeah, so. And if you do donate, I'll usually if you donate by Cash App, it doesn't let you chat. I can just put a thank you on there. But if you do donate, I try to thank everybody personally. So yeah, this one right here is a shedded skin. And what happens is tardigrades will shed their skin with eggs inside their skin, and the eggs are protected by the skin from from other creatures, and then the eggs will hatch in about 40 days. If you really look at this and stare at it for a minute, you'll see motion in there. And if I time lapse this, you really see motion. So, and let's see what this is. Those see those things right over here to those 5 things right there? Those are so tiny, but it looks like they're little vorticella or vorticella. So, but those are very small. How many tardigrades are in one? Just one tardigrade. It's strange because when the tardigrades hatch, or right before they hatch, they look just like a tardigrade. Like this, just you see in the egg, it looks like a balled up tardigrade. You can almost imagine that it's a balled up tardigrade. So there's the eggs, and there's the tardigrade. So, and that other little thing's a little algae floating around. I'm just searching, seeing what else is on this slide. With other mother, no, they on their own. The mother doesn't come back. They just on their own. And they are small when they come out. They're a little small, and then they'll shed their skin a couple of times, and they'll grow. How do they die? Of old age or getting eaten up by something else? What do they do in our world? They're just in the food chain. They really don't, you know, they eat, they break down algae and poop it out, and then worms and amoebas and other things will eat them, and it goes on and on. So then, how often do they lay eggs? I don't know. They can. I've seen. I've never tracked one, but they can live about 2 years. So sometimes I see them with eggs, and every one of them seem to have eggs. So I'm going to guess all the time. I'm going to guess these things can lay eggs constantly, like a chicken. So I'm gonna, this one looks like, let's see what this one's doing right here. This one looks like it may be, I don't know if it, now this one right here, if we watch this one long enough, it'll start swimming. So, some people ask me if they sleep. I've seen tardigrades stop moving for hours and then come back and then moving again. So let's see. Okay, here's one right here. There you go. Yeah, radio collar, a tardigrade. Yeah, in the wild, I don't know. It'd be cool if you could radio, but the only way they get far is if they get hooked on a duck's foot or a bird or something, and then they would move out. But otherwise, they'd pretty much stay put on the tree. Yeah, I'm not an expert. A lot of times when people ask me questions, Stephanie, I got to go look it up. So, but all the basic questions I know, and most people ask the same questions. Like if you ask me, what is their DNA structure? I don't know, or like somebody said, how many eggs, how often do they lay eggs? Well, just from my natural experience, I would say all the time because I'm always seeing them with eggs. No, is it digesting the 2 green circles? No, yeah, Reddit's behind, boy. Okay, so what you saw with those 2 eggs, those were 2 tardigrade eggs inside the skin. The skin was shed. So it was inside a shedded skin. And in a couple of weeks, they'll hatch. Yeah, Reddit is behind because, I mean, it seemed like I was off those eggs for a good 2 or 3 minutes, and now I'm getting questions about the eggs. I hear you, kitty cat. Yeah, somebody said, Reddit gang, come over to YouTube for less delay. I'll put my YouTube link in it. Yeah, it does get crazy with a delay um, because I'll be talking about something while I'm looking at it, and then and I say, okay, well now I'm gonna go move the slide to over here, and and then people will start asking me what's going on from 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I feed them. I don't feed them by hand, but I do refresh their water with algae, with fresh water and some algae that I have. So I'll kind of mix the water, make sure they got oxygen and stuff. How long do I think the eggs most of the time about 40 days. So that's about double the time it takes to hatch a chicken egg. Yeah, it says there are a lot of tardigrade types. Which one is it? There's no way. I'm not, for me to tell you what species of tardigrade this is, you really have to be patient, and you'd have to have a book, and you'd say, okay, does this one have X? Does this one have Y? Does this one have Z? Does it have claws that are arched? Blah, blah, blah. So it's too much for me to do. Yeah, somebody said the tardigrade eggs 40 days. That is a long time. It seems like there'd be, no time, but they take 40 days. So what's the size? This one's probably about a quarter of a millimeter long. How do they mate? I've never seen them, but it's just the same as anything. You'll see one on the back of the other one, kind of on top, on their back. So just like, just like uh, most people do, I guess, except me. I don't mate too much anymore, and I'm still young. I'm just kidding. Maybe if I get rich from streaming water baths, I'll get more mates. Yeah, I find them. I usually find mine. We got a lot of oak trees with moss here, so I'll usually find mine in moss on the side of oak trees or lichen, and then I scrape them. There's a video on YouTube of how I do it. So I'll scrape them and break up the bark into some distilled water and stir it around. Can you see them without a microscope? I can, um, because if I know they're there, if you know they're there and you really get your glasses on and you really want to see them, okay, then you can. Then you can see them. And they just look like a tiny, tiny white dot. They really don't look like much, but if you don't know they're there, then you're not going to be able to see them. So I'm just typing some stuff to somebody real quick. So I'm looking at the slide right now, and I can almost imagine me looking at them. So my Reddit's kind of, yeah, you say you could see them with the naked eye. If, put it this way, somebody asking again, if you had 10,000 of them in 2 drops of water, yes, you'd see them. They just look like little white specks moving around. But if you just walking by an oak tree and you get some moss, there's tardigrades in there, but you're not going to see them. I mean, they're just microscopic, and you see right through them, and you would see you're not really going to see them. If you just had 10 on a slide and you didn't know they were in there and you just looked at the slide with your eye, you're not going to see them. If you knew, like I know these are on here and I'm looking at the slide with my eye right now and I cannot see them. I see some white specks, but there's no way for me to tell if that's them or not. So I could take the phone out of its case and I can might be able to focus. Well, I'm not going to be able to focus down on them, but you could see how hard it is. So real quick, I'm gonna stream for about 5 more minutes. Do you want to see the setup? You want me to take my phone out of the case and see if I can kind of show you what the slide looks like? Okay, so I just saw it on Reddit. I'm watching. Yeah, good. Thanks for coming over to YouTube. I'm gonna take this off. So what we can do here. So now this is the microscope holder right here for the iPhone 12. See right here. This is my microscope. This is the kitty cat. Hello, kitty cat. All right, so here's the slide. And it's not going to focus too close, of course, because it's kind of limited. So, but anyway, yeah, it's not going to focus. But so this is the water it's in. See how I got that big long line of water right there? Well, I wish it would focus, but it's not going to focus. So anyway, that is the slide. Here's the light. Comes up through here, goes through there, comes up through here. That's another camera that you hook to the computer. This right here is where I would look through it. So you can see them down there, see them moving around. And this right here is where this goes. And you just put it in there. How do you get the water bears off the slide? Well, I go put them back over their container of water, and I just get another eyedropper full of water, and I let them, and I just squirt them off into the main water, and then I just do that about 3 times until everything's off of the slide. Okay, all right, gang. I've been on 73 minutes, so I'm gonna hit the road in about a minute. And I got some things to do around the house, and I go to work for a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for about another minute. And if you want, go to my playlist on Microscope, and you can watch my videos. Because if 200 people watch 200 minutes, well, do the math. So if 200 people watch an hour, that's 200 hours. So thanks for doing that. And if you can, throw me a couple of bucks for the microscope. And it's going to be years before I'll be able to buy that microscope. But every little bit helps. Yeah, this is just a hobby, Stephanie. I'm just seeing some questions here. Hello, cat. Okay, I'm gonna go jump off of Reddit first, and my YouTube will stream for a few more minutes. So thanks for watching. My Reddit is down to about 1,100 watches, so thanks a lot. Subscribe and come back. And I'm gonna be cutting off of Reddit in 3, 2, 1. Thanks a lot, and jump over to YouTube. I'll be on just for a few more minutes. Thanks. Hey, thanks. I see some people giving me some gold here. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks for showing us what I hope my streaming on YouTube helped. Yep, everything helps. So thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, YouTube people, my Reddit has ended, so YouTube gang is superior. It helps out a lot, that's for sure. So this one, let's see. On this one, yeah, bonus footage. I'm gonna do a little 3D act here, watch. So this, you can bend the light a little bit with this slider and you get more of a 3D look to them. So that's pretty cool. And tardigrades don't really do too well in 3D. This is called, what this is right here, this is called dark field, where this is more what they look like when they're on a on the tree. Okay, when they're on a tree or in their moss, this is what they look like. They're more clear. Okay, they're clear, and they're not. Because when you're looking at, because when the light's like this, the light is bending around them, and you're seeing the light come from all angles and from the top, like they would be seen in nature. When you look at them like this, the light is only coming from the bottom, and you get a lot more contrast than they really are. You know, almost like a silhouette. So there's different ways to look at them. This way right here is called diffused lighting, oblique lighting, where you put the slider in halfway, and you get more like a 3D look to them. See, where you could see some detail. You lose stuff. You know, you lose where you could see the mouth parts and all, but you could see the folds in their skin and stuff like that. And then when you go all the way to dark field, this is what it looks like. So you could see some structure in there. Let me see if I... So this is sort of like black and white. So if you were another animal that can see these things in some moss, this is probably what it's going to look like. This is called dark field illumination right here. And so let me go back to regular. All right, what I'm gonna do is try to find those eggs again. Let me see. I probably won't be able to find them. That guy right there, look at it, he's crawling off this one. No, polarized light's different. I don't have my polarizer in here, so I can't do it. Polarized light's different. It's different. What we were looking at was just called dark field, where you bend the light over the top of the slide. Okay, polarized light actually polarizes it. It changes it to where it's only coming in from one angle. It's hard for me to explain polarization, but it's not that hard. These guys right here are Euplotes. Somebody helped me identify these yesterday. And this one is side. This is single cell, and it's got an amoeba right there. See what he looks like in 3D-ish. So these look better than tardigrades in 3D. See how they look? You can see the structure really well of these guys. So you can see their shadow. Doop, 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 doop. That's a big amoeba in there. See if I can see an amoeba. Amoebas look good under polarized light. Let's see. I mean, sorry, I just said polarized light. This is not polarized light. Oh boy. Let me see something real quick. Let me put it on low power real quick. I'm gonna look for an amoeba. I don't know if I have a good one on here. That's just some fungus right here. This is the edge of the water. This is the edge of their world. There's a paramecium. Let's see. Parameciums are good to look at in oblique lighting. So this paramecium right here. Come on. You don't like that light? These, I can't be sure what those are. They look like they might be flagellate, maybe some kind of algae, I'm not sure. All right, I'm gonna go about another minute on here. I have to run. But I'm trying to find something that would be interesting in the light, in the special lighting. Let's see. And I do not have much else on here. Now this is a tardigrade. See how small it is? This is 40 times the size. So yeah, I don't name them. Usually people on the stream will name them. But this is how little they are. So in reality, you're looking at this tardigrade 40, so 40 tardigrades could fit on the length of this one. So now you can kind of get some idea of how small they are. So this is 40x. All right, let me see if this paramecium will stay still. Well, you see my fingerprint? You see that? That's my fingerprint on the bottom of the slide. Yep, that was 40x, and they were pretty small. So this is 150, okay? This is 150, and then I'm gonna pinch zoom to about 300. And then what I'm gonna do is, yeah, you see, these things, it looks like this paramecium flees from the light. Looks like you don't like the light. So yeah, so let me go with the size comparison before I go. Okay, this is about 300 times the size right here. Okay, look, I'm gonna go. I have to go real quick. I'll be back later. I got some. I'll be back in a little bit. Not a little bit. I'll try to stream tonight. And go ahead and hit the button, the subscribe button, and for notifications. Thanks a lot. I got somebody pulling up that I have to go help out. Thanks.